Hi, Caleb with Brownells here, and in today's product spotlight, we're going to be taking a look at the Sons of Liberty Gunworks M89 Handguard. Alright, so we have another AR-15 handguard. What makes this one so much better than the rest? I'll just come out and I'll just tell you right now, this is probably the most robust handguard on the market. It definitely has the most robust mounting system for sure. So let's take a look at it here. Alright, so it's an M-LOK handguard, obviously, for you guys that are familiar with M-LOK out there. And on the front of the M-LOK section, we actually have two 45s on each side, which is pretty cool. A lot of M-LOK handguards don't have 45. They just have, you know, the sides and the bottom, and then some whatever vented cuts here. But this one has everything. Has them on those 45 tops there. So if you want to mount a light or something like that up there, no problem. You don't need to get like a cantilever M-LOK thing or whatever. You can just mount them straight to the handguard, which is the point of M-LOK, so that's nice. So the handguard itself is, of course, made out of aluminum, and the coating is a Type 3 hard coat anodized. The mil-spec one, so you know it's going to match the rest of your Sons of Liberty stuff, so it'll match your upper receiver just fine, and your lower receiver, and you know everything else, so all your stuff will actually look correct. So the reason I say that is because like sometimes you buy, you know, whatever brand upper and you know whatever brand budget lower, and then you end up with some weird anodizing mismatch. But as long as you're buying quality stuff, you don't have to worry about that, so we won't get into that too much. So on this one here, you do have anti-rotation tabs, and this handguard, I say it's the most robust on the market. Arguably, it certainly, I certainly think it is. It is a little bit more expensive for that reason. It's so much more, you know, quality and engineering went into this one. Not to say that the other Sons of Liberty handguard is a bad quality. This one is just more robust than that one. It has a different mounting system. It has a better mounting system. Not that the other one's going to go anywhere. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Now I'm talking in circles and it's your fault. But no. Alright, so let's talk about the barrel nut. What is a handguard without a good barrel nut? So if you notice here, the barrel nut is nice and long, which of course we all know that a long barrel nut will minimize flex on the handguard. That's just science and whatnot. And you can kind of see here these weird, it kind of comes up at an angle. There's three angled areas, and each one has a step in it. The reason they do that is because whenever you mount each one of these bolts in it, so those mount across the bottom here. So you mount two going one way, the one in the middle goes opposite from the other two, which we'll do an install video on this later on, don't worry about it guys. Whenever you do that, as you tighten the handguard down, so as you tighten these screws down that are going this way, it's actually pulling the handguard tighter into the upper receiver, which makes a super solid rigid mount. And if your upper receiver is drilled for it, it also has an anti-rotation pin here that you install in the top of the handguard, and it goes through to the upper receiver to make it even more anti-rotation-er. That's a word now, because there's not only two but three anti-rotation points at that point. So this one in particular, what makes this one so special? So you can already get these handguards. This is nothing new, but this one here is 11.5 inches. The only way to get this handguard in this length is to buy it on a gun or buy it here at Brownells. We're the only one that have this length, which is pretty cool. So the 11.5 length, I'll mention the other thing that comes in the box. You get a super nifty sticker here. You get a barrel nut wrench, which is great. And then you also get a M-LOK QD mount for mounting wherever you want on your handguard. So that's the other stuff that comes in the box. Oh, and you get the box. So I want to show you guys I have all this stuff here. You're like, are you going to do an install video? No, I'm just going to show you what it looks like with different length handguards, because I know you guys may have questions on that here. Alright, so let's actually start off. Let's see what lengths we have. Alright, I got a couple of Ballistic Advantage barrels here. And we will start with the 13.7, my favorite length. And the one I think this handguard looks the best on. So, for running a 13.7, I'll just kind of throw this stuff on by hand. I'll screw our barrel nut on. And you guys will just wait patiently. Alright. So like I said, this is the 13.7, so you guys can get a good idea of how that's going to look. And of course you have your Knox brake. And if you're running a 13.7 with the Knox brake, then when you pin it, you get to a legal 16-inch length. So that's what it looks like there. I think that looks pretty slick. Alright. And then of course we can do a 14.5 and a 16-inch. I think you've seen all you need to see. You're like, man, I got to get that with the 13.7. But I'm going to show you the other two anyway, because I said I would, and I'm not going to break my promise, guys. So I'm just going to unscrew this barrel nut here, and again, you will just wait patiently. We'll stare at each other while we do it. Alright, got it. Alright, that was 13.7, and this is a 14.5. And I could just like hold the handguard up against the upper receiver, but then you guys don't get to watch me screw this barrel nut on 3 different times. Alright, so that's 14.5 with the Knox brake, and obviously that'll get you well over 16 inches, but yeah, so there it is there. Alright, and let's do, last but not least, your traditional 16-inch AR-15 barrel. Again, you guys get to watch me disassemble all of this. People pay good money to watch this, alright? This one's in there pretty snug. Alright. Got that, 16 inches. This barrel has seen better days, but it's the one we're using for this demonstration. And that's what it looks like with a 16-inch barrel. And of course, 16-inch barrel, you can use whatever muzzle device you want. You can use whatever muzzle device on any length barrel. But like I said before, I think the first one we did, which was the 13.7, looks the best on this setup. And yeah, the handguard itself comes with everything you need to install it: barrel nut, hardware, QD sling attachment, and like I said, this is a product spotlight, but we'll do an installation video on it as well. Don't worry, I got you covered. All right. So if you have any questions or comments, or you've tried this handguard and you want to just tell the rest of the world how awesome and robust it is, do that in the comment section down below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.